Okay, good afternoon. Can I get a quick mic check? Thanks, JD. Okay, let's do a quick review on the day. I just need a half a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm struggling with a cold. Shop trading 91.90 off 5.73%. I'm holding. I'm not concerned about it. Although if it went two off, being well the 200 MA, then I'd get concerned. But and why would I hold? Because my position sizing has me at a place where when I actually get the turn, I can hit it 2, 3, 4 times. And yeah, unfortunately, I could have cut. Sure, I could have cut. Probably better, but it depends on your time frame and it depends on what you're up to. So I think it's going to be fine. My initial target actually was around 91 bucks when it was coming off. I was saying that during the process that it should have hit that 91 bucks. And I'm in with good company. I know a bunch of traders that are very skilled that are in it, and I'm hoping that we're right. HMNY 30.5%. It just keeps going. The epic squeeze is still on. I can't tell you anything other than that. You buy and close your eyes. That's that. ANAB up almost 85%. Number of times I was going to execute on it. I didn't. It was my pick of the day. And I should coulda, woulda. So it's ANAB. What it's going to do from here into the future, I'm not sure. It's in absolute bull breakout price action formation. Oil on the day is right up against a resistance, important one actually, on the model. So I'm watching very close, right to where it is. XBTUSD is off a bit on the day. Well, it says it's green. I guess it is, but it's off a bit on its intraday. Consolidation time, I expect as it gets closer to the $5,000 mark that the Bitcoin 5,000 that there will be some volatility. It had just a fantastic run up here that we were all over. So we'll see. So that's XBTUSD. So on the conventional chart is right up against a trend line resistance too, by the way. KALV, same thing, price action breakout. It's at the bottom of that daily candle, which I find interesting. It definitely came off. LINU. So it has its 200. I was watching it yesterday or the day before. It's not my kind of play because it just slowly comes off after it gets its jump. But you never know, this might be the turn. But it doesn't have the right price action for what I'm looking for. HMNY we already went through. MNKD is on what, day 6 or something? Let's see. It's about day 6 or 7. It's had a great run. It's definitely divergent from its normal action. It's filled that odd gap in there, and I have to say it's done a lot better than I thought it would. It can run hard when it runs, and here it goes again. SRNE up 22%, testing its 200 on the daily. I was in SRNE about a month ago. Ended up getting out for a small profit. But I got tired of waiting for it. ARDM filled its gap and well over its 200. The last time I reviewed this one, I said anything was possible. And I agree with that statement still. It's an aggressive stock. Like, that thing could double without even trying. From here, it's already almost tripled. Well, it has tripled. Some of this activity you just gotta wonder. MRNS up 15 or 14.56 on the day. This is a nice trending stock that's bounced off its 100, and it's done well on the bounce. This is day 1 of the bounce. You might want to consider it if that stock RSI on the daily turns. Not sure. It's kind of a tough one, but it's definitely executionable. PBMD. So it's got a full hook going on here and coming out of the bowl possibly, trading 254. This could get some serious lift. I don't expect that it would hold any lift it gets, but it could definitely get it. So shop is coming out harder here today. When you have a play like this pull back on you, you only have a few options. You either cut and take your paper cut, or you wait for it to bounce and hammer down and hope that you get a good average. The thing about the next hammer down is that you can't fool around. You can't take further paper cuts. You can't keep doing it. So you have to hit it. So you find the turn. So pretty soon I'll be looking through my MAs for the turn and look for the buying to start coming in. But when I do that, I'm not going to be able to just keep averaging down. So what you do is you hit it, and typically I'll hit it for a double up, and then if it proves out as quickly as possible, hit it for a triple, but hold it tight. if it doesn't actually prove out, then you immediately exit that entry, and then on its next down, do the same thing. But you have to immediately exit. You can't muck about. So on the hourly, it's still not showing signs of buying coming in. On the 30, none. $15, not even. So on the 5, there's signs of buying. So what I might do here is just start to load. And so then you have to play the stock RSI and back to your indicators and the volume and get chippy. It's either that or you hold through it too, I guess is your other option. But just averaging down as it goes is not good. CLSN up over its 200, came back, tested its 200, and what is it now, day 6 or so? It's high a day. It's looking like it's going to get some mojo. Lots of volume. It's up against resistance. But it gets up over this little zone here and it'll probably fly. It's not a bad looking little play. So the 5 minute, it's breaking high day. It's lunch hour. Stock RSI turning up, volumes up, MACD's up. I like this one a lot. Sure, it's got some resistance, but really both of those up on the board, and oil and XBTUSD. This is a pretty bullish little stock. This is an interesting stock from the perspective that it can double so fast. The risk reward is really interesting. CTXR just doesn't have enough liquidity at all. NTNX, what a play. That chart is, it's not the easiest chart to read, but it's definitely one of those charts that could get very bullish very fast, and it's got its divergence today. It came back, tested the 200 a few days ago, about a week ago, and that 20 coming through the 200 and pushing it. That's a really neat chart. For me, it's just not quite there, but I wouldn't doubt if that one rocks. CHNR. Yeah, I won't even get into the details, but no, it hasn't got the liquidity either. 65,000 shares. OBSF. So here goes crazy. The bulls are just all over this thing. It's crazy. Well, I'm in CLSN. We'll see what happens here. I'm on the break, so risky stuff when you're in the break. It's pretty hard to ignore this one. Well, we'll see how it handles this break. I won't give it a lot of room, but I'll give it enough. For the break, and then holding AOI, hold, snap, and looking for a turn on shop for an ad. Looks like shop's got more down here to go. Dang it. Guess we'll see. OBSV on the daily. Definitely divergently bullish, no doubt about it. That thing looks like it's going to keep going. It just hasn't got the history to do any analysis on it. SELB, same thing with that one. Very bullish. Wow. Wouldn't doubt if you see that one keep going. That's crazy. RICK. break, trending on the daily. Wow. These are some bullish charts. MESO, can't trade it, but it doesn't, at first glance look bullish, but it's bullish. It's on a turn too. It's working through the MAs nice. ICHR, break of its previous highs on deck. ABEO, we've charted this one before. Crazy. These are just all straight bull. There's not much you can say about them. You just got to find the right entry and go. Almost everyone we looked at here. I hate to say it, but there's really not a lot to do on them because they're just so bullish. And they aren't early. No, this one's coming off intraday, but I'm not concerned about a little bit of pullback. We'll see how it handles some divergence one here on a pullback, but it's not overly concerning. What I like about this chart is the daily. It's got its 200. It's held, past the 3-day mark. It retested the 200, and now today's pop is, over yesterday's high, and the 20's through the 100 there, and so it's getting into a bull situation. But I don't think it's going to bowl in the normal way of a bull. I think it's going to end up in the horns, and the horns put it at almost a 50% gain. They got a 100% gain on this one. It doesn't need much. Now it doesn't hold its gains, and it's not the best looking stock, but it does have that 200. So, in past it doesn't. It just keeps going down and down and down. But this action is pretty cool. So we'll see. I'll give it a lot of rope, but I'll give it enough to try and work it. Shop. Doesn't look like a bottom, but you never know. I do get a bullish divergence on it. The buying comes in, I'm going to have to just whack it and try and get an average out of it. And that won't be easy. But, pardon me, it's either that or cut, and I'm not going to cut at that loss. There's no reason to right now. Not now that I've held that long. The other ones on here, let's see here. CLNT, not interested in looking at it. I've been watching it. IZEA, charted it a number of times recently. I guess you could see if it bounces off its MAs, but it's kind of psychedelic. Our SRAX, up over its 200, coming back a bit, and it's kind of like CLSN in a way, Court. Tested its 50 and bounced. Classic. DRNA. The thing about these tests is you kind of got to be there for the test. You got to be on top of it and stalking it. Take that hit, hit it at the test. Once it gets too far off, this one's not far off yet. that's an ugly chart. ATHX. Yeah, so that's where we stand. So shop on the daily. They'll bite up. Might have to get close to that 200, but they'll bite up. Might get close, might get to the 84 range. Just too bad. A lot of ground for me to make up back to 98. But it can happen quick. Oil's sitting right at its resistance. Conventional chart, it's right at that down trending trend line. It gets up over and really go. CLSN, sitting at my entry here. Let's look at the 5. So I'll be watching shop this afternoon for a bounce. If I get divergent buying, not just covering, but buying, then I'll hammer down pretty hard and see if I can't get some averaging going. CLSN, give it a little room, not much. At best, I'd give it to about 420-ish. Maybe VWAP. And then hit it again at VWAP. We'll see here. I'll see how the action is, but I really like the daily on it. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is getting revved up for a big move. And sure, it might not have the big move until that 20 gets closer to 200, but that's not far off. It's a few days off. I think it's going to end up with the horns. If I had to guess this one out, we're about 3 days from the horns. So that's my thesis. That's it. Anybody have any charts they want to look at? By the way, sorry for my cold. It's shit, what do you do, I guess, eh? It's a bad one. Corey says the dippers are stepping in. Into the QQQs. the pot to 440, so 10 cents. Even this biggest candle here is 20 cents. So, you know, I'd give it around 20 cents in a positive scenario, and if, you know, if it gets that, then I would probably add. But I'd like to candle distance in between the odds if, you know, if it proves itself out and gets the legs above here. Yeah, these candles are 20 cents, so 20 to 30, probably 30 cents is the number. And then that way in a washout, you kind of keep yourself a bit of a buffer. Typically something with this kind of liquidity, you won't see that big, you know, instant boom down, stops get hit scenario. Typically. But it's also harder to drive them up from an intraday. So you get, you know, you get the benefit on one side and not on the other. So we'll see what happens here. Wow, these power backups and the new systems and stuff that are getting installed. I'm pumped. Like the power just went out 3 times here over lunch hour, and not a blip in the room. I don't know if my voice has been the same, but all the systems stay on, all the internet stays on, not even a blip anywhere. Not even like a flicker of anything. So Bitcoin, by the way, is getting moderately, you know, just moderately, divergently bullish. Very, very moderate. I don't think we're going to expect a big move until the next big move here. I'll kind of pin down. I can't remember the time. That's the big moves on it. The timing, because we can hammer down so hard on the leverage. And with the different accounts, of course, it can make a big difference on these small accounts. Because of the nature of it, you know, it's decentralized. So CLSN is not proving out yet, but time of day, it's 12:46. I guess we'll see. Sure, look like the bulls were going to take her in there. Shop trading 91.11, so the bleeding stopped, but I don't know if it's over. That chart sure looked like 84 was easily possible. So I'm going to see if I can get a time. Ooh, I think we might be getting into the, yeah, we are too, look at that. So the time frequency on the next possible run is at 104. That's interesting, in 13 minutes. No wonder it's bullishly divergent. Very slightly though. So we'll see what happens here. CLSN selling off a bit here. Oil's coming off its high of the day. It's right in around serious support in a lot of ways, oil. There's a number of, serious resistance, a number of resistance points. in and around where it is. Well, I wouldn't want to be short Bitcoin intraday, because this sucker could go. My only position right now is 500 contracts at 48.37, and it's trading 48.38. So basically, I'm an entry. Shop didn't get a lot of follow through here. That's pretty anemic. I think it's going to 84. CLSN, I think it's gonna go. If not today, tomorrow, next day, no, 3 days from now or so, the low horn should be there. I sure like that stock RSI on the daily. Just classic bow formation. Well, it could be bye-bye time. Volume's coming in. So I'm long 500 contracts more at 5 times leverage. It's at 48.70. Okay, so we're getting a boom town here. I'm in 2,500 contracts, 5 times leverage. Rich is in, and he's in big. What did he say? 25,000 at 10 times. It's boom time. I'm gonna start trimming. Just trimmed 1,000 contracts. 1,500. Well, that spike happened right in mid-quad.